Right. I'm talking to Sajeer, Abdul Rahman,
Sajeer.
from
India.
Kerala.
Okay.
In fact, Kerala, which is we were saying is like the number three big destination in India. And Sajeer is here in London because of this photography exhibition, which has been done of post-tsunami and during tsunami photographs from Kerala, in fact, and Tamil Nadu. And I remember, Sajeer, a little while ago, we did a story on the Responsible Tourism Conference in Kerala when Sajeer and his friends had an alternative conference at the time. So tell me, why was that, Sajeer?
The thing was that what prompted us towards an alternative conference was that initially when responsible tourism discussions were evolving, there was the government that made an effort to bring in a lot of civil society groups together and discuss about the needs and what they feel or the aspects with regard to responsibility that Kerala should address immediately. And as a civil society group ourselves, when we were working, we found that the government's whole focus was making use of responsible tourism as a marketing tool rather than addressing the real key issues of responsibility in terms of social responsibility, environmental responsibility, and all aspects within economic responsibility. The government at that time was just taking up a small element within economic responsibility as a local sourcing for providing certain supplies to resorts and saying we are doing responsible tourism, we are going to do an international conference on responsible tourism. And it was getting into such a situation that the whole responsible tourism debates and discussions was getting hijacked mostly by the industry. And the civil society groups were getting sidelined and their voices were not being heard. In this regard, the civil society groups got together, and Kabani, the other direction of which I am a member, along with a lot of other civil society groups, formed an informal collective called Kerala Tourism Watch, and we decided that we should have a parallel conference and raise our points at the same time that the international conference was happening. And many of the civil society groups were actually denied participation to that international conference, and they were charging a very high price for anybody who wanted to participate from the civil society groups.
So, which effectively stopped you participating, but this is 2 years ago.
Well,
I see, 2 years ago, and a tsunami.
And it was after tsunami.
Yeah. So, what's happened in that period of time, do you think?
In the last 2 years?
Yeah.
And if you delve a bit deeper into what has happened in the last 2 years, especially with regard to responsible tourism, as you had asked, the government has not even made any headway beyond the small element within that economic responsibility that they were talking about. And they haven't addressed any of the other responsibility issues. And the so-called 4 destinations in which they are speaking that responsible tourism is happening, there are ample enough irresponsible tourism activities that are happening for which they are showing a blind eye and just highlighting these aspects and marketing it very well. And Kerala Tourism always has been a very good marketeer who has been good with his PR exercises and all.
So would you say in that 2 years it's better or worse?
In the sense?
Would you say it was better, or tourism was better or worse now than 2 years ago?
I would say that it has not gone anywhere better compared to what it was 2 years. It has gone worse, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of irresponsible tourism activities in terms of environmental degradation, social issues, a lot of livelihood spaces of fishermen, a lot of fragile ecological land in the mountains are all getting encroached by the tourism industry.
And would you put this down to tourism per se, or would you put it down to tourism which goes over the carrying capacity of the destination?
It is mostly has to do with tourism, the way it is evolving, where it is just looking at bringing in more and more tourists, having more and more resorts and lodges and hotels to cater to these tourists. And it's just putting more and more pressure on the whole Kerala fabric as such in terms of environment, society, livelihoods and other things. It has to do with the increasing number of tourists that are coming to Kerala. And not positioning and addressing the key issues and not implementing the regulations that need to be implemented to make tourism service providers and industry follow the steps that are laid down to them.
So are you optimistic as far as the future is concerned,
We
or
are not
pessimistic?
that much optimistic if things are going in this way. And we do believe that there needs to be a mass awareness generation among tourists, especially from tourist-sending countries like UK, US, and Germany, to put pressure on governments and industry at developing destinations to act in a much more ethical manner, I would call it.
And you're hoping your visit to England will help in that, and also the photograph exhibition.
We do hope that, because UK is one of the biggest tourist sending countries to India and to Kerala and Tamil Nadu. UK is the second largest in terms of the number of people from abroad who are coming over to India to visit. And our experience of working with tourism concern, who is one of the biggest campaigning organizations in Europe, has shown that the pressure from countries like UK, Germany, France, and all, which are the key tourist sending countries, has always had a very positive influence on industry as well as the government.
Thank you very much indeed.